Ripple XRP versus SEC. Huge update today in today's video. Here we are on the XRP daily charts, day number 3 of our continued up move. Here we are, 1, 2, 3, playing out, still tracking on the trend line that we were talking about yesterday. So looking strong. We do have a resistance coming in. We're going to jump into the charts today on XRP. We'll look at the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour. We might even dip into some of these smaller time frames as well. But in today's video, we got a lot of great stuff that we're going to be covering. Obviously, the SEC information. SEC seemingly fears Ripple's gigantic win in XRP suit takes shot at firms supporting Ripple. We covered a little bit of that yesterday. Also in today's video, Dogecoin set for gargantuan gains as Elon Musk to proceed with the $44 billion Twitter purchase agreement. Not sure if you guys saw that yesterday. Elon did officially agree to pay full price. He actually offered back in the day that $54.20 for every share of Twitter, the equivalent of $44 billion. He obviously was about to fight that because of the bots inside of Twitter. However, he has now backtracked on that. He's just going ahead with the purchase because he has a new system coming out called X. It's also called X, literally. System X or Site X, and that is going to be utilizing Twitter to bolster its performance. He says that it's going to really boost that program. Also, crypto payments on Twitter under Elon Musk could soon be a reality. Crypto Rand investments, so not only the Dogecoin story, but just crypto payments in general. And then also check this out. Swift says it has reached a breakthrough in recent CBDC experiments. So we're going to dive into this. Is Ripple, is XRP included in that? We will find out. And then also, U.S. national debt now tops $31 trillion for the first time ever. And here's who the country owes. So we're going to dive into all of that for sure today. And by the way, hey, thank you guys so much for joining me today. My name is Ryan Huggins. I'm a crypto and real estate investor here in Southern Orange County. And my job is to help be your crypto shortcut. If you're like most people, you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day looking at the charts, reading articles, watching YouTube channels. Well, that is what I do. It's my job. And I bring that information to you in a condensed manner. So if you're looking for a crypto shortcut, smash that subscribe button. Be glad to have you guys here today. So let's go ahead. We're going to jump to the charts here at the end of the video today, because I've got there's a lot of great news here that I wanted to cover with you. So Dogecoin set for gargantuan gains as Elon Musk proceeds with the Twitter buyout. So let's check this out here. Meme coin Dogecoin experienced a marked bullish bump on Tuesday, bolstered by an announcement that Doge father Elon Musk is reportedly still interested in buying Twitter on the deal's original terms. So if we jump over here to the charts here, we're not going to actually dig through all of the charting of it, but we're just going to go ahead and bring it onto the charts here for us to take a look here. We'll use the KuCoin version and Dogecoin. So let's see here. So yesterday it was a 9% gain on the day. Today it has backtracked, about 3% of that. And as we always talk about, we'll just pull this up real quick. There is a nice fair value gap that needs to be filled here on that daily chart. Whoa. All right. So here you can see the candle for today. It actually went down. It had a much more severe fair value gap here on the daily. It would be filled completely if it came all the way back to this level here. As I always say, price that goes up fast oftentimes comes down just as fast. But that's good news. Yesterday, for those of you guys that are day traders that were in that before the news hit, hopefully you guys took some profits. And by the way, I am not a financial advisor. None of this information is financial advice. Do your own research. Do not buy or sell anything because we talk about it on this channel. Musk willing to finally close the Twitter deal. So Elon Musk's Twitter takeover agreement is not dead after all. And if you're not familiar with this whole story, he offered to buy it. He challenged the amount of bots. They were going to go to court. And then they started arguing back and forth on Twitter recently, and also arguing with each other via text message. The Tesla SpaceX CEO offered to buy Twitter for $44 billion back in April because he believed it failed to protect free speech and thus imperiled democracy. He, however, scrapped the deal a few months later, citing concerns over a huge number of spam accounts on the platform. He also claimed that the information provided by Twitter was false and misleading. Twitter's board subsequently filed a suit against the eccentric billionaire for breaking the contract, seeking $1 billion in penalties. Musk's renewed buyout offers came as the Tesla chief was set to be deposed by Twitter attorneys as the social media firm readies for the trial over the billionaire's plans to pull out of the $44 billion deal. The revival of the buyout has thrilled the bulls. Twitter shares soared 15% on the news to hit 49.81. In fact, it was crazy because I was doing some trading of options during the day when this happened, and everyone was freaking out in our group talking about, oh my God, they halted. Well, first of all, they halted the Twitter because Twitter was low, and then all of a sudden it exploded. So a lot of trading halted on Twitter, and then they also halted the trading on Tesla because after this announcement, Tesla dropped severely because they were going to be using some of the Tesla money, like Elon would have to sell his shares in order to buy this. So the news hit $49.81 before tapering down to $47.96 at the close of trading. Musk's favorite crypto Dogecoin also swelled more than 8% on the report, presently changing hands at 6 cents. Musk and Dogecoin's love story over the years has been hot and intense. The Tesla CEO tweets about Doge, constantly causing the price token to skyrocket. Just before he hosted SNL on May 2021, the hype surrounding the event of the Dogecoin sent it to a lifetime high of 73 cents. And it was a dud, unfortunately, because he didn't really talk about it at all. But Musk has also been working on Dogecoin developers to make it a cheaper, greener, and faster alternative to Bitcoin. It's unclear whether there will be further implementations to Musk's Twitter buyout deal, but if it is finalized, it could be a huge positive for Dogecoin cryptocurrency. The Doge father has previously mentioned integrating Doge as a payment option on Twitter. He also suggested using the meme coin to rid the platform of bots and scammers. And that brings us over to our other article here. Crypto payments on Twitter under Elon Musk could soon be a reality. Crypto Rand Investment Group. The Crypto Rand Group took to Twitter to share a list of new changes the Tesla chief may introduce if the Musk Twitter buyout deal is finalized in the near future. According to the firm, Musk could also introduce crypto payments on Twitter, which may bolster the sector to a whole new level. So Crypto Rand says, so it appears that Elon Musk will make the following changes. He's going to add the edit button. If you've ever sent out a tweet with a typo, you know how pain in the ass that is because you have to delete it and then write a whole new tweet. Well, this will eliminate that option. They're also going to cut down on the bots. They're going to rewrite the algorithm and eliminate that. And they are going to possibly enable crypto purchases. What changes do you want to see on Twitter? Elon Musk has previously announced his decision to integrate Dogecoin payment into Twitter Blue. The firm further shared that Musk could also experiment with the general structure of the microblogging site and may introduce the edit button to allow users to edit already published tweets. Notably, Twitter Blue has already started exploring ways to introduce the edit button, which currently seems to be in early testing stages. And that Twitter Blue, you can actually buy into that. I believe it's $4 a month and allows you to get a couple of extra special features. The firm further shared how Elon Musk could also be working towards weeding out the rampant crypto bots. While attending the TED Talk in April, Musk acknowledged the growing issue of rife crypto bots on Twitter and expressed his desire to eliminate crypto bots on Twitter altogether. If I had a Dogecoin for every crypto scam I saw, we'd have 100 billion Dogecoins. A top priority I would have is to eliminate the spam and scam bots and the bots armies that are on Twitter. And speaking of not just Twitter, if you're down in the comments section in this video, go ahead and leave a comment. Are you feeling bullish? 777 if you're feeling bullish, 777 if you're feeling blessed. But if you're seeing people comment down below about go to my Telegram, go to this group, go to that group, we will never ask you to go to any group. If you ever want to go to anything related to Run Guys, if you want to be associated with our Twitter, our proper one, our Facebook, our YouTube, our Telegram, it's all in the description only, not in the comment section. We do not leave those things in the comment section. So if you're seeing someone in the comments saying, hey, come and hang out with us over here, they're a freaking scammer. Don't get in there. Just click the description button. There's a section that says more. Click on that, and that will give you all of the options. We have, been fighting as hard as we can against these spammers, these bots. It's relentless, though. Like Elon is saying here, it's just as bad on YouTube. And that's something that we hope that you guys are paying attention to. Elon Musk renews his Twitter buyout deal. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla Motors, made a surprising revelation on Tuesday. Musk actively announced his decision to renew his Twitter buyout, which had earlier gone awry due to Twitter's failure to disclose the crypto bot information. And we just covered that. So now the grand finale information. Well, we do have a couple other things here, but the most important one for all my XRP Army members, SEC seemingly fears Ripple's gigantic win in XRP suit. Takes shot at firms supporting Ripple. So this was in an article we covered about the other day, how about Remit and TapJets was standing up saying, we support you, Ripple, the company, because they could use XRP, the token, to help facilitate their business. And the SEC has opposed efforts by two firms, iRemit and TapJets, to submit amici briefs to court in support of Ripple in the drawn-out $1.3 billion XRP securities suit. The regulator has lambasted the Movants for trying to offer evidence that is outside of the limitations of discovery rules and the court's prior order. SEC objects to firms aiding Ripple's defense because this is just more evidence stating how Ripple would use XRP not as a security, but as an actual piece of the transfer of money. So last week, Philippines headquartered cross-border payments company iRemit requested to participate in the amicus curiae in the SEC versus Ripple case that is nearing the 2-year mark. iRemit noted that it has a vested interest in the outcome of the suit because it relies on Ripple's on-demand liquidity ODL service, which utilizes XRP cryptocurrency to facilitate cross-border payments. So those two companies did that. And in response, just recently, the SEC asserts that these two firms cannot clearly explain how Ripple being directed to register its XRP sales and distribution would hinder them from using the crypto. Moreover, the plaintiff does not see any valid reasons why Ripple could not have put forward the facts that are cited by iRemit and TapJets. But here is what we all are waiting for. Has Ripple already won the battle with SEC? And personally, if you've read the information that just recently came out, it's looking like they did. The SEC lodged a formal complaint against Ripple and its current and former CEOs, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, respectively, back in 2020, claiming the sale of XRP constituted an investment contract and securities offering. So basically what they're trying to say is that when you purchased your XRP back in 2020, you purchased it because you wanted Ripple, the company, to do well, right? Like you were hoping that Ripple, the company, would do well. And like I've said this many times, like 95% of the people that I talked to bought XRP, they didn't even know it was attached to Ripple. Some people knew, they were smarter and they understood that Ripple, the company, was using XRP, but they didn't think, oh, I'm buying a stock, a share of Ripple by owning XRP. That was never, like, no one I know ever thought that. SEC wants to say that that's the case. So besides the support for Ripple that has poured in, the San Francisco-based tech firm has also notched several procedural victories in the case. Most recently, the U.S. District Court judge overruled the SEC's attempts to prevent Ripple from accessing emails pertaining to the speech by former SEC Corporation Finance Division Director William Hinman, the Hinman documents, where he said rival crypto Ethereum was not a security. And the rest of that we have covered in the past. So we're going to go over here now to SWIFT. Now, as we've talked about, the United States government wants a CBDC. They don't want to have to use another coin. They don't want to have to buy other coins. They just want to make their own, print it out of thin air, just like they've done with fiat currency, the dollar. So for CBDCs, our solution will enable central banks to connect their own networks simply directly to all other payment systems in the world through a single gateway, said Chief Information Officer Tom Zakak. And that's the SWIFT company, right? So you guys have all heard SWIFT is being shut down. Well, now SWIFT is exploring multiple different ways to not be shut down. If you guys have heard, they've been trying to use Chainlink as of recently. So Chainlink and the SWIFT payment system have partnered up to try and create another CBDC, but they're also looking to explore other avenues. On October 5th, the Society of Worldwide SWIFT announced that it had successfully moved central bank digital currencies and tokenized assets on existing financial infrastructure through 2 separate experiments. According to SWIFT, the results demonstrated that the CBDCs can be rapidly deployed at scale to facilitate trade and investment between more than 200 countries and territories around the world. Now, this is important for all of the XRP army because if SWIFT makes their own system, then the whole entire conspiracy theory about how the financial system is going to crash, it's going to all go to zero, everyone's going to adopt XRP, and XRP is going to $1,000 a coin, doesn't work out. So this is important for you, XRP Army, to follow and get behind and know what's happening here, okay? SWIFT is a Belgian messaging system that connects over 11,500 financial institutions worldwide and plays a paramount role in facilitating international transactions. Globally, 9 out of 10 central banks are actively exploring digital currencies. Via its collaboration with Capgemini, SWIFT managed to settle transactions using CBDC based on different distributed ledger technologies, as well as using their fiat to CBDC payment network. 14 central banks and commercial banks, including Banque de France, Deutsche Bank, HBC, all of those are now collaborating in the testing environment to accelerate the path to full-scale CBDC deployment. In the second experiment, SWIFT demonstrated its infrastructure could integrate tokenization platforms with different types of cash payments. Working in collaboration with Citi, Clearstream, Northern Trust, SWIFT explores 70 scenarios simulating the market issue and secondary market transfers of tokenized bonds, equities, and cash. The World Economic Forum estimates the tokenization market could reach $24 trillion by 2027. Regarding the developments, Tom Zakek, Chief Innovative Officer of SWIFT, said digital currencies and tokens have huge potential to shape how we will pay and invest in the future. But that potential can only be unleashed if the different approaches that are being explored have the ability to connect and work together. We see inclusivity and interoperability as central pillars of the financial ecosystem, and our innovation is a significant step towards unlocking the potential of the digital future. So interesting here, right, with the SWIFT system situation, XRP already does all this. And so that's why it's XRP Army. We all know that. That's why we're holding XRP. That's why we believe in it. So I believe it could go to $1,000 per token, because it could even go more, right? Because 24 trillion by 2027 would be in that network. What if all 24 trillion was inside of XRP's network? Now, if you do the math on this, if you were to take 100 billion tokens and you were to use the amount of money, $24 trillion, when you do the division in there, it actually comes out to $240 per token. If you take $24 trillion and you divide that by 100 billion tokens, you get 240. So just keep that in mind for the potential of price. U.S. national debt now tops $31 trillion for the first time ever. Here's who the country owes. The gross national debt in America has now hit $31 trillion, according to a U.S. Treasury report released this week. And if you find it hard to wrap your head around this, it's basically boiling down to more than $93,000 of debt for every person in the country, according to the Peter G. Peterson Foundation. And with the dramatic rise in interest rates over the past few months, the Fed funds rate is currently 3 or 3.35. The national debt will be growing at a rate that makes even the harder to ignore. The last couple of years have been expensive. A deficit is what happens when the government spends more money than it brings in through taxes, and the last couple of years have been very expensive. Several large bills with hefty price tags have been approved since the start of the pandemic, including the American Rescue Plan Act, which cost us $1.9 trillion and $750 billion for student debt relief, all adding to the deficit, which then adds to the debt. And though the Inflation Reduction Act, which was passed in August, was expected to reduce by $240 billion, policies and programs bought in by the Biden administration are expected to add trillions more over the next decade. The Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget estimates $4.8 trillion will be added to the deficit by 2031. Now, the other thing that we've talked about on this channel numerous times is how the United States currently, as it sits, is a corporation. It is not a country. So just think about this. If you were running a business and your business was this far into debt, don't you think you'd end up going bankrupt? Well, in order for you to not go bankrupt as a business, you might go to a bank and ask for money, right? And then they lend you some money, some funds to run the business. Well, that's what we keep on doing here in the US. We keep on going to the privately held Federal Reserve Bank that is not a federal government agency. That is literally a private bank owned by 5 of the richest families in the entire world. And then we ask them, can we borrow some money from you? And they say, yes, here's how much money you can have. Infinite. They just print as much as you want, it doesn't matter. And then they charge us interest on that. The debt will never go away. The deficit will never go away. It just keeps going up and up and up. That's why the Great Reset, the implosion, the explosion of our financial system may be around the corner, as they talk about, bringing in the potential of either XRP Army getting that $240 per token every one, because you take all of the financial money out there and you push it over into the XRP ledger, or they create a CBDC, start it all over, Great Depression, Great Recession, all of that stuff. So that's what we're playing with right now. So let's go jumping over to the charts of the token that could save the world, right? So XRP, baby, let's take a look at what we've got. So as you guys all know, we are currently sitting at the 49-cent level. It actually was at a high today of 50 cents. 0.50242 was the high of the candle so far today. When we take a look at our weekly candle, this is really exciting here. Check this out. We do now have a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly, and we have 4 days and 2 hours left on this candle. Super exciting. One thing that we do want to keep in mind is this right here, the RSI. The RSI has hit the top of the white line here, which is the volatility band, also known as the Bollinger Band. Typically, when it hits there, it'll rebound one way or the other. So when it's at the bottom, it'll bounce up. When it's at the top, it'll bounce down. The other thing that could happen, though, as you see what happened here, it hit the band and it kept on going, and the band kept going down as well. What you'll notice also, if you take a look here, the band was starting to narrow, but right now, because of this recent explosion, it is starting to widen. That is positive news for us. That means more volatility is coming in here. This could likely just continue to rise up as well. The white band could rise up. RSI continues to slowly ride along the way up with it as well. That would be fantastic. This is the weekly. We're barely over the 50 level, which is very bullish. We're at 52 now on the RSI, and we're continuing our push to the upside, which is also very bullish. And we are on our way to a supply and demand level here on our weekly charts. We take our Heikin-Ashi candle. We can jump to here, and this is our weekly supply and demand zone, where price is likely to go over time on the weekly schedule. So that's to the upside. That's that 78 cents to 91 cents. And of course, we will reevaluate when we get there, and we'll drop down to a smaller time frame here in a second. Now, conversely to that, if we're looking at the downside, we would then go right here to the last red candle before the green up move. And we're looking at this candle here. That is a 35-cent downward support level that we are looking at potentially having. When we jump back to Japanese candlesticks here and we turn on that fair value gap again, and we'll see here, this is also very bullish news for XRP. There is no fair value gaps down below this far. There is a tiny little fair value gap that is likely to be filled over time here. Let's go ahead and mark that with a horizontal ray. This wick right here gets us to the bottom. That's that 39-cent level. Now, what you'll notice also, we talked about this yesterday, when price ran up yesterday's candle, it ran up really, really good. It had a really good run, but it did leave a big, giant fair value gap and that imbalance right here at 46 cents. You can see it pulled down, filling this whole fair value gap, except for this tiny little bit here at the 47-cent level. That doesn't mean it has to be filled right now. It is potentially that it will get filled, but it may be later on. Maybe it runs up here, tests this support level, resistance level before popping back down. So let's go ahead now and find our upside levels for support and resistance. So right now, our top support and resistance level is this candle right here. And this is on the daily. So we're going to go ahead and color this yellow. We want to be able to differentiate. So as you can see right now, we have plowed through there. So we are inside of this supply and demand zone. looking strong. Very good. We want to break through this level up here at 52 cents. So our goal right now, XRP Army, is to make this way up here, break above this trend line, turn it into a support, and then also turn this supply and demand box into a support at the same time. That would be ideal. Now, taking that into consideration about how big that box is, let's go ahead and get rid of it, drop to a smaller time frame here on the 4 hour. What are we looking for here on the 4 hour? This is our top box here. So we'll go to this candle, 4 hour. We differentiate that color with red. And as you can see in the past, this has been an extreme resistance after it fell out, right? So right here was the fight fell out, boom, resistance, 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 resistance here even just recently, but boom, we finally broke in. We are definitely inside of this level, and this one potentially a retest. Let's drop down to the 15-minute level here. Have we retested that zone yet? We have not. So there is a possibility that it does return back here at least to this 48,852 level, retest this bottom zone, and then take off to the upside. That would actually be really nice if we get this test, rip to the upside very soon. So we're back to the 4 hour, back to the Heikin-Ashi candles. That was also a rather large candle. So let's see if we can drill this down even more. Let's look at the 1 hour, going back into the history here, and there it is. All right, cool. So we do have a nice peak candle here that we can use as our upside supply and demand zone. 1 hour targets, we do blue. So there we got blue. Now we'll zoom into present day. So really good news here. As we take a look to the upside where price could be going, it also coincides with that resistance line. And that resistance line, by the way, comes from the very long past on the daily. Let's remove the fair value gaps. So we went back in time here to this candle, which is the March 29th candle. Use that as our top. We could pick all of these other different spots as well, but we decided on this one. And we had a relay top here, the second connection, and that's where we're at with our trend line. Now, what we can do also, now that we have had a couple of different taps in this zone, we could jump to the 4 hour chart, and we could give ourselves a even smaller time frame zone here, right there. And we're going to turn that one 4 hours red. So now we have this 4 hour top candle here. We can also adjust that one there because we want to go off the top of a green candle. And then we went off the top of this green candle. So it gives us a nice little idea of where support is right now. And we can actually move this one here also. So now we have our support and resistance on the trend line. So right now, obviously, it did bounce off of this level here at 50 cents, starting to potentially pull back. Like we said, we might fill that fair value gap, which is running right here at this 46 cent level. And there is another support here, which we'll continue to keep an eye on as well. So if we're looking at 4 hours, we have this 1 hour target up here at the top. We also have, let's take a look at our downside 4 hour, which would be here as a support level. We'll go ahead and color that box in red. And that gives us a support level down here at 44,857. 44,857. XRP up today 3%, which is very nice, like we talked about already. Running into a little bit of resistance. We'll see if this comes back down over the next couple of hours. So we do have our short-term ups and downs, right? And again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is financial entertainment, just using the charts, painting out some spaces where price could go. Potentially, it's just my opinions. We have 44,857 to the downside if it breaks this downside support level. If it continues its run to the upside, which would be nice, we have this level right here, 53 cents. Those are our shorter term tops and bottoms potential. Now, if for some reason we start to have an experience, or if we start to experience a massive move, we could see an upside move up here to 78 cents. And then also a downside move to 35 cents. Now, another thing that we just covered yesterday is on the way up, we do have this line that we run into right here. This is the top of our highest, most recent candle. And that's at that 55 cent level. And we did mark some stuff out yesterday. By the way, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything out. But we went in time yesterday, and there are levels like a ladder up. So right now, this 55 cent level, we want to reclaim that as a support. The next level is 65 cents, then 75 cents, and then 85 cents. So that's what we're looking for right now. Every 10-cent level, once we claim this 55-cent level, those are the ways that we're looking for it to go up. We are looking strong right now, starting to get into this triangle pattern, as you can see developing here. We would love to see it break to the upside and make a nice rally to the upside. We also could look down here at the RSI. We are, for the short term, right, because we're only on the 4-hour candles here, we are at a potential topping here where we could take a little relief break, whether price trades sideways for a little while or we do actually come down. That's to be determined. We'll see. If we look here at the daily time frame, this is starting to turn back up. We have already been overbought here at 86, starting to make its little rally here. But when we zoom all the way out to the weekly, this is looking so great. Like, there is so much room to the upside on our RSI. We're over the 50, turned bullish. We're over the center point or the market baseline. We're continuing to rally. Good news in the markets. Take a look here at the dollar, the Dixie. It's been dropping. Take a look at the daily. So you can see here, continued red. Let's look at the Japanese candlesticks. Today, it had a little rally of a candle. We have 1 minute, 35 seconds left in this candle. And then we'll have a new daily candle. It rallied up, it poked above, but the bears stepped back in, really the bulls of the entire market. And that would be because the dollar is the opposite of stocks, the opposite of Bitcoin. We would like to see the dollar settle. We want to see it come down. So that way people get excited about investing risky assets and they become more risk on. When the dollar is strong, everyone just wants to hold the dollar because it's worth so much. It's so valuable. As this comes down, that helps the economy and it helps everything, even the world economy. Now, speaking of helping in the world economy, here's how you can create your own world economy.